Yo, yo, yo. Mic check. Well, look at what we have here. They chose, did you see this already, Pest Dummy? They chose to do the stream in the Star Trek Online category. It's the first thing I noticed. Now, this is not necessarily, how's it going? Thanks, guys. A Curry, Gale Play, Pest Dummy. We are in the Neverwinter category today. Because I think in the back of my mind, I thought this stream was going to be, their stream was going to be only about talking about Neverwinter, but that's not true. They're going to be talking about the future of Cryptic, and Cryptic contains 3 games. Their stream should be starting very soon. Yeah, I find it interesting that they chose Star Trek Online as the category. That was done on purpose. I think they have a lot more people that watch their stream for Star Trek Online. They do have a dedicated group of Trekkies. And so I think they made a conscious decision to do this. They're going to be up in about 15 minutes, but it looks like they're already in their channel. We're going to keep an eye today on their, one of the things I look at is the view count of their streams to see how they're doing. Not to make fun of anyone, but to just see the interest. And it looks like they have a little decent size here. So I mean, I did find it interesting that they're in the Star Trek category. That is, you know, mental note. I literally don't care, but I just make observations is what I do. And the opinions and conclusions can be formulated later. We've had, and for anyone watching on YouTube, because I will be uploading this to YouTube, I'm going to be spending a lot more time in the future making YouTube videos. It's easier for me than grinding out hours and hours of streams on Twitch. Twitch will be reserved for a lot of special events, like today, as a matter of fact. But grinding out hours of gameplay, I have kind of reached my expiration date on that. Yeah, I got the slow mode. Did you see the slow mode for the Discord in Ashes of Creation? It's a 6-hour slow mode for Ashes of Creation. Oh my God. It's a 6-hour slow mode. How's it going, Raven? We're definitely going to be talking a lot in the future about Ashes. Someone's going to write a book on that frickin' thing. The videos that are coming out on Ashes, it's like I think my dead grandma released a video yesterday. And it's getting 100, 200 views on it. My dead grandma made a video about Ashes of Creation yesterday. The one person that we're really looking to hear from again in the future is Steven, but I think he bugged out. He roached out. That's what they say. He roached out. Look at this. Here's the original post someone put in Reddit. And here's what someone said. Push game to Steam, rake in last-ditch money, take money, fire everyone, roach out, profit. Welcome to MLM, boys and girls. I warned you about this in 2018, didn't I? The video I made yesterday was doing really good last night, pulling some old stuff out. So, what do we got? We got 10 more minutes before they start. Jack Emmert is someone who used to be a CEO of Cryptic Studios back 90,000 years ago. And so he knows the content, what it was at the beginning. Let's set the table here. Why am I here today? We know why he's here today. He wants people to come back and play the game. I got really some bad news for him, if that's what he thinks is going to happen just because he returned. He's kind of a reincarnation of Chris Whiteside, who's like, okay, I'm going to come in, I'm going to listen to the community, and, you know, we're going to work together. Okay, that's what you're going to hear today. You're going to hear, let's work together to make this game great. What he really means is, come on in and buy a bunch of Zen with real money, and you know, it'll be like we're just going to continue to do what we're doing. If you see the next module come out and it's loaded with a campaign zone with heroic encounters, you got your answer to the question about let's work together with the community. Now, I've got my own personal reasons for why I'm here today, and that is because I'm only have one interest, and that is if there's anything going to be happening with Neverwinter Classic in the future, are they planning on working on it and releasing it? And if they do, what is going to be in that? And what is it going to consist of? And when is it going to happen? So that's why I'm here. You know, guys, we all have our motives for what we do, and I'm telling you my motives straight away. I don't play this game. There are many, many people who quit this game after Mod 6, then after Mod 16. Some stuck around a little longer, like me, and eventually said, okay, like, peace out later, nerds. So this guy is going to be talking actually about 3 games. So he's talking about Cryptic Studios. I actually was under the impression today that this was going to be about Neverwinter only. My mistake. It's if you look at the thing, have they started yet? If you look at the thing, it's hear more about his vision for the future of Cryptic Studios. Not necessarily for the future of Neverwinter, the future of Cryptic Studios. So, and look, like I said at the beginning, they're in the Star Trek Online category. What do you guys think about that, Galactic? Thank you guys for coming in today. It's been a whirlwind. It's been nothing but like the last few days have been a real hoot. It's been all ashes of creation. So we've got a very interesting situation now. We lost another MMO. We lost another Western MMO. Keep that in mind. We lost another Western MMO, guys. We lost New World, and now we lost Ashes. So now Jack and Cryptic Studios, you have a real opportunity here to do something. You have a real opportunity. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, I don't care about Champions Online or Star Trek Online. But if the result of today is that you don't promise a Neverwinter Classic, you know, I'm going to just go back and play Path of Exile 2 and just try to get better at it and make videos for Path of Exile 2. There's nothing else I can do. So I don't care what you try to do to the current version of Neverwinter. It's not going to help. Jack, it's not going to help. Okay? And I know there's current players of the current Neverwinter who have a laundry list of things they want you to do. There's an AMA tomorrow, guys, on Neverwinter. There's an AMA on Reddit, 9 a.m. Pacific time. I may not stream it. I may or may not. I don't know yet. Depends on how I feel. Today was iffy, you know. But, yeah, I don't know about Star Citizen. But tomorrow's actually an AMA on Neverwinter on the Reddit. So I already posted a question in there. Today, I think, is today just going to be a rah-rah session? I don't know. I'm going to refresh this page just to make sure. I'm not a streamer anymore. I just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, guys. They don't even have an intro with music and stuff. What's going on here? Where's Captain Kirk? Yeah. You know, actually, sometimes the AMA is better than the live stream. You get everything in writing. And the actual devs are there, usually. So you might get some good information tomorrow, more than what you'll get today. Today is going to be, you know, rah-rah. Look, I've returned. Like, I don't, you know, like, that's great. Good for you. What does that do for me? I would love to know how many people play that game still. Neverwinter. Yeah, we'll circle your enthusiasm back to the team. Well, I think they do. Guys, before their stream starts, I wanted to show some stuff, but I might show this after the stream. This is what the current org chart looks like. I did this myself. Take a look at this. You got a new company called Project Golden Ark. Guys, do you think, I try to come a little bit prepared. Project Golden Ark is the new company made up of mystery guests. And that's what we have here. New company, Project Golden Ark. Guess what they did? They sold the whole kit and caboodle to Embracer for $120 million. And guess what they did recently? They purchased it back for $30 million using someone else's money. It's pretty damn smart. They should talk to Steven Sharif over there at Ashes of Creation on how to do things properly. Mini-Me is here today. Thank you for that. One of the goats of the original Neverwinter. Galactic, Mini, thank you guys, all of you. 100K NPCs play Neverwinter. Yeah. So check this out. Cryptic Studios is, this is the current structure. The current structure. They were all scattered before, and no reason to even talk about the scatter because it's over with. Deca, Embracer, they all got the band back together. This is it now. Project Golden Ark, I think they're in San Jose or whatever, California. There's two arms now, Cryptic Studios and Arc Games. Cryptic Studios is the developer. Star Trek, Neverwinter, Champions. Arc Games is the publisher. Star Trek, Neverwinter, and they have a new game coming out, which hopefully there's time today. I'll show you the quick trailer for it called Order of the Sinking Star. It is a puzzle game. Arc Games is going to focus on AA games, not AAA games. Again, we're getting ready to watch their stream. He's going to talk about Cryptic. But of course, my interest, and I'm sure many of your interest is, what is the future of Neverwinter? Are we going to get a Neverwinter classic that will run alongside the current version of Neverwinter? My personal opinion is that there's nothing they could do to the current Neverwinter to bring me back. The game just plays differently. It doesn't play the way I like it. I like the way the original Neverwinter played. Everything my cleric did. And I'm sure people like Mini-Me and the PvPers, they love the old game. They love Stronghold Siege. They like their builds. They like the way the game used to play. My understanding is that Jack Emmert is open. He's open to talking about Neverwinter Classic. That's the most important thing. He's open. Just to let you know, they're streaming in the Star Trek Online category. So this is a bigger meeting today to talk about Cryptic in general. I don't know how detailed they are going to get today. There's an AMA tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. my time where it is Neverwinter only. So if today goes good, I may cover that tomorrow. So anyone on YouTube watching this, I'll put chapters in for all of this so that you can jump ahead if you want. I'm a YouTuber now, guys. Galactic, watch out. And Mini-Me, watch out. I'm coming for you. Cryptic Studios, I do want to send a general reminder that this is about Jack's return and any bigger future idea plans. Specific questions regarding when will you do X will implement this specific system. When will you fix X are very unlikely to be answered today. What country are you guys in? This is all about his return. You're already disappointing me. You're already disappointing me by saying that. No, he's supposed to talk about the future of Cryptic Studios. You want to have a party for him, go ahead. but I want to know about the future of Cryptic Studios, and you could at least give some high-level stuff. Things you're open to and you're worth discussing about. Again, it may end up be where the AMA is more important than what happens today. Now, I agree with what they just said. Don't ask us specific questions about why your mount isn't working, okay? I mean, I could totally understand, like, there's no reason to ask a question like that. So what time is it? What time is it? It's 11:01, you frickheads. Is Julia running the show again? Why are you guys late? What the hell's going on around here? Yeah, my mount's not working. Jack, can you please fix it? Oh, guys, we got to get a viewer count on their stream too to see, just to give a gauge on how they're doing. They're in the Star Trek Online channel, which actually does pretty good when they do their dev streams. And I am kind of surprised that they would stream in that channel and not the Neverwinter channel. It is kind of a little bit of a shocker, to be honest. I mean, that tells me something. It tells, I mean, is that their moneymaker now? Is that Star Trek, that old frickin' crusty game? Yeah, Julia's got gray hair now. And guys, as always, when I cover dev streams, I got the notepad. So if there's anything of interest during the dev stream, when it's over, we'll talk about it. That's how we run things here when I do talk shows. And, well, it says not, they started. Oh, I could collaborate with them. Frickin' ViewBot. Did you guys see how the collaboration works on Twitch? It's illegal ViewBotting. Is the stream running or not? Holy frick. There we go. Just reload the page. Here we go. 91 viewers. Okay, good. 10 of them are in-game NPCs. Yeah, I got the notepad, the toilet paper. Yeah, you got to refresh. Thank you, Gail. Someone type in their chat, refresh. I'm not going to do it. Frickin' Star Trek Online, can you believe it? Hey now. Hey now.
Hi, I'm Kalina. Thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow. I've been gaining some subs on YouTube. A few. Okay, they're over 100 viewers. That's good. So I think I'll leave it like this. Usually I'd go F11 on this to enlarge it all. But here's the letter in a quick video on Jack Emmert. I think everyone's seen it. So he returns as CEO of Cryptic Studios, and I showed this already.
To our stream, long-awaited stream, with our new Cryptic CEO, Jack Emmert. I'm going to let him introduce himself in a moment. We're going to talk about all 3 games. I know there's people from all of our amazing games in the chat tonight. We're going to talk about all of them, so just be patient if we're not right away talking about your favorite game, of course. And say hello to Jack. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Slight correction. I'm the old CEO. So for those of you who don't know, that I co-founded Cryptic Studios back in 2000 with 4 other guys. Before City of Heroes launched, 2 of them went in another direction. That left 3 of us. Our angel investor came to join us as CEO back then and helped guide us, and I was the lead designer on City of Heroes. After it launched, I became the creative director over City of Heroes and City of Villains. Then we started working on a Marvel MMO, which unfortunately never saw the light of day. It was canceled. We then pivoted and we made Champions Online and Star Trek Online. And at that point, I was Chief Creative Officer. And then COO. And then by the time Neverwinter rolled around, I was a CEO. So I'm a game designer by trade. I left Cryptic in 2016. I joined Daybreak. I had an opportunity to run DC Universe Online. I tried to do another Marvel MMO that never saw the light of day. And I also had an opportunity to oversee Lord of the Rings Online and Dungeons and Dragons Online. And I got a chance to work alongside the EverQuest teams, the PlanetSide team, heck, back in the day, H1Z1. So a lot of smart people. Then about 3 years ago, I started a studio under NetEase, Jackalyptic, and we were going to make a Warhammer IP game. That never saw the light of day. But that studio closed in November, and I rejoined Cryptic in January. Just seemed like the stars all aligned at exactly the right moment. So yeah, here I am.
I'm definitely very happy to have you here. And I think the crowd is too. Yes, we have a lot of "we missed you." I'm glad you guys still remember him fondly.
Is there any? Clearly your memory is skewed. But hey, where can I see everybody? Or is that
You
only you?
no, you can also open the Twitch stream right now, and then you can see it in the
Oh,
chat.
yeah, we're on Twitch. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Hi, gang. So a little bit about me. I mean, I've aged quite a lot. My hair is pure white. I did start going gray when I was 16, but nevertheless, the past 10 years have been a quick accelerant. Um, as a CEO, I'm pretty blunt, but I'm pretty transparent. I'll tell you exactly what I think, and I'll try to explain stuff. You might not agree, but maybe you'll understand. I'm a big believer of this saying. I don't know if I invented it or I heard it, but it's not my job to come up with the best idea. It's my job to identify the best idea that comes up. So that means it's up to me to listen. And because frequently there are far smarter people than I out there. And I really adhere to that. I believe that at Cryptic, we run live games 24/7, and I don't like grinding the employees. I would prefer to work on the quality of our games. I think good games make money. Um, and that's going to be certainly an area of focus over the next year, and trying to reach back out to players that might have left in the past 10 years and get you to come back and give it a try. Uh, Not sure what else. Fair warning, one of my sons might be in this chat, so just want to give everybody the heads up.
Oh, are you scared he's gonna troll us?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so should we just start doing questions?
Yeah, I think maybe if you want to talk a little bit about Champions Online, there was already a general question just about the future of Champions Online, if players can expect anything new this year.
Yeah, I mean we've got a group of folks working on it now, making constant updates. I don't see that changing in any way, shape, or form. I do think that I'm going to be looking at opportunities to grow all of our games. And so, Champs players, if you can let me know what you think, uh, I would love to get an idea of how we can bring more people into it. And the same is true for Star Trek and Neverwinter. And right now, uh, I don't believe in kind of being a bull in a china shop. We have great teams on all of the games, and they already had plans for this year. And I'm not going to disrupt anything in the next 6 to 8 months. More or less, it's an opportunity for me to learn how the teams work. Also, just to see how players respond to the content. And I've got to relearn the games. Right now, I'm grinding in Neverwinter primarily. I will get to Star Trek um, and Champs.
Yeah, I think some players asked earlier how much you play the game, and it's also asked about the developers. One thing that I've really been enjoying that actually Jack implemented when he joined is once a week we all get together and play one of the games. Oh, obviously mostly the ones we're working on, but it's been really fun. Sometimes we test content that's coming up, or we grind on a new character, because it's really important to get like the view of a player. So even Jack plays on accounts that are just like your accounts, normal player accounts. We don't like boost our accounts or anything. It's very important to us to try and get your perspective on the game that we actually develop for you.
Yeah, look, if I'm not the biggest fan of my own games, then what am I doing? I have spent time trying to do things that were more executive level, and I just didn't enjoy it. I don't think I was good at it. I just love being close to the games and knowing them and loving them. And so I play them, and I tend to, focus my feedback to the people leading the team so that I don't disrupt the developers. Um, so yeah, like I said, I could tell you what I'm doing in Neverwinter. So I'm finishing up Undermountain right now, and I'm learning the new refinement system. So I just bought a ton of brilliant diamonds off the auction house, and I'm leveling stuff up like crazy. Uh, and right now, oddly enough, I'm constrained by gold. That's limiting my that's limiting my refining.
I'm sure you're doing super well. I honestly have only played Neverwinter a couple times. I've been so sucked into Star Trek Online and trying to not constantly run my ship into things that I haven't gotten to play it much.
Someone tell him to use his
But we have a lot
workshop
of
to make
Neverwinter
gold.
players in the chat today.
Good.
Sorry that our Neverwinter community manager isn't here tonight. He is taking a bit of a vacation actually, and we've exchanged responsibilities. He's gonna be there tomorrow for the Neverwinter AMA. We also have a Star Trek Online AMA tomorrow. So if any of your questions don't get answered here tonight, you can join us tomorrow on Reddit.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with some questions. I think one of my developers just sent me a question. Did Ark reach out to come back, or did you start this conversation yourself? It's a complex answer, but Yoon, the CEO, and Ark and I worked together when we were part of Perfect World, so we knew each other, and I had stayed in touch over the past several weeks or several months. I mean, really going back to Feb of last year on some unrelated business, and this just all came together, threaded nicely. That was a good question. Okay. Do I pick the questions, or is somebody else going to do it?
I'm looking right now. There's a lot of very specific questions.
Yeah, but something I could do. Console
Yes.
experience. Can we have the console UI and full gamepad support for STO on PC? Many MMOs fully support. Thomas, can we do that?
We we'd have to schedule it. We'd have to budget it out. It is something I'm interested in too, because if you wanna, I know there are people who play on like Steam Deck, right? A STO on Steam Deck would be really fun. I always thought a STO on portable would be fun, so it's something I'm open to looking. I don't know if you unmuted me, Jex. Hopefully you did.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm here, everybody.
All right, so
I'll get on camera later.
Hey, Thomas, can you write that down? Gamepad
Yeah.
support. Early Cryptic supporters with City of Heroes. What are your thoughts on Homecoming? I would love to say thank you to the gentleman who's keeping City of Heroes alive. Just so wonderful. If anybody has his contact or her contact information, I would love to get in touch and just say a personal thank you to them. Bringing back Foundry. Probably not in the short term. Foundry was a bit of a mess. It was easily exploited, as well as presented enormous technical challenges. But this is a common refrain that I've seen. So we are going to investigate this, but there's some other things we want to tackle first. I could train you how not to run into stuff. That's good.
It is a running gag on the stream because I keep bringing it up that I only fly ships that can turn really quickly because I keep running into things otherwise.
What are your plans to restore consumer confidence? Hold on, this is a good one. What are your plans to restore consumer confidence in lockbox items in the recent controversies regarding surrounding heavy nerfs, false advertisement, and lack of compensation? So it's real easy, guys. I can't say anything to what happened before. I really can't. But all I can tell you is, do I look or seem like the person that's going to put up for any bullshit? And I mean this really sincerely. Like, just imagine you're on the dev team and you check in some half-baked piece of content that's broken and it hits the public server. How do you think I'm going to react? Thomas, can you give him a clue?
Yeah, it's not going to be good for anybody.
Yeah, that shit's it's unacceptable. It just is. You guys are more important than me. You're the ones paying for this. You're paying my salary. The hell? We can't be screwing around with you guys. Now, we'll make mistakes, but Jesus, yeah, I apologize for anything that happened in the past. So, crossplay to Neverwinter. We've talked about it. The problem is that the economies developed each at different times. So exchange rates and auction house would be completely messed up by bringing it together. We have talked about it. We might do it, but it's like Foundry. It's not immediate. Okay, all right. Is it possible to bring back all the missions and task force that have been locked for several years? Yeah, sure. We should start bringing those back.
I love the way you just said that. I think Jeremy just grew 10 new gray hairs.
No. I mean, I think, you bring these things as like limited time. I think it's awesome. I love that stuff. Is there anything implemented from your last time as CEO to you? Maybe you don't regret itself, but don't like the implementation the way it worked. I feel like Champions Line let's see. Anything that I regret? I don't think I would necessarily regret the games, Neverwinter, Star Trek, or Champions, as much as I regret how I managed the studio. I was very, what's a good word for it? Kind of an asshole. And I've matured since then. I think I'm a lot more humble. When you're out there for 10 years trying to make a new game and you can't, that'll humble anybody. And I've certainly learned a lot. And I've learned to open my ears a lot more than I think in the past.
We love to hear it.
Yeah. Will you publish odds for all items like Lockbox, like Neverwinter does in the STO, but it never happened? Yeah, that's a really good point. We do it for Neverwinter, but not for STO, Thomas?
Yeah, I think there are Neverwinter supports different regions that have different rules about that kind of thing. I think that's why it was done in Neverwinter. But I was not really involved in these conversations in the past, so I think we'd have to start some new conversations about it.
Yeah, because there's lots of legal stuff that gets involved when you start like doing odds and shit like that. But yeah, let's take a look at it. I don't think it's a bad idea. All right, let me go back to the questions here. Just rip right through these.
Someone's asking if you have any plans for big changes for the state of Neverwinter. I think someone's asking it like 10 times, so.
Well, I think I do have some plans. But like I said, I don't want to... It's a bad idea. For those of you who are real old school MMO people, I'm going to tell you a little story. It's called NGE. It's called, what was it? New game experience. Star Wars Galaxies launched and it had, I don't know, a couple 100,000 subscribers. But for the IP of Star Wars 20 some years ago, that didn't seem like an appropriate number. They wanted like 1 million. And one of the things that they faulted was the fact that the game that they had created was more of a crafting sim than it was an action game. And given the nature of the IP, people thought, well, if we just change the gameplay and we make the gameplay more action-like, like you'd expect in a Star Wars game, will have more players. But in fact, what happened was that it didn't really attract anybody, and it just pissed off everybody that was playing the game. So the cautionary tale is, I know people think Neverwinter, I mean, oh my God, like, but in fact, it's pretty stable right now. And if I were to start making major changes, well, a good bit of those people might leave. Now, that isn't to say that I won't, that we're not going to be looking at various elements of it, because we will. And I am right this moment. So those are things that we will be doing, but I don't expect, a gigantic update like update 16. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm not, that's never going to do anything. Also, more boons, more class pass, and Neverwinter, more powers, and I totally get it, hear it. I can't promise anything in the short term, but I totally understand that that's what folks want, because quite frankly, so do I. I play a fighter. I'm a tank. So who knows? I might be in the pickup group next to you. Okay, let's see what here. Can we address fleet holdings, reputations, lifetime membership in STO? Yeah, we could put them on the list.
Yeah, that stuff is stuff I'm constantly thinking about with, and every now and then we'll talk to Jeremy about. All these things are everything you guys want, right? It's always a where do we put our focus next? Yeah. And so that's always the big question.
Let me tell you guys, I'll let you into a little dirty secret. Again, I'm going to be transparent. Fixing an old system, which is barely used, probably doesn't move the needle as something brand new. So that's why game developers tend to abandon old systems and then go back to them. It's not a good excuse, but it's an explanation. What ship would I fly in? Oh, I could tell you. I used to fly the original Jem'Hadar ship. That son of a gun was agile as hell and kicked out a lot of firepower. But again, I have to get back in and play from scratch again. Can we bring in cooler transmutes in fashion for Neverwinter? That I can tell you they're working on, because I saw some. That looks really cool. Please tell me that there's some social aspects. Fashion, yes. Player housing, yeah, that didn't really work really well, did it? Yeah, that's something I didn't do well. Guilds. Oof. Didn't do that well in Neverwinter. Yeah, I'll get to that.
It's a very long list, I think, for all the games right now.
Yeah, I can't do everything, gang. It's got to be little pieces at a time, because we do need to deliver you new content in addition to improving old stuff.
And bug fixes.
What's the vision of Cryptic Studios? All right, this is easy. We are gamers making games for gamers. We bring worlds alive that people are passionate about. So I love Star Trek. I love D&D. I love superheroes. Hence, this is what you got. I last worked on Warhammer. I play Warhammer all the time. I can tell you what figures I'm painting, what armies I'm doing. These are my passions. And regardless of the bugs that we might have in our games, you will know that anything coming out from Cryptic is 1000% genuine and authentic, and is a passion project. It's not just a paycheck. There you go. That's my vision.
We did have a question regarding that. Is Cryptic going to start making new games again, or are we focusing on maintaining the free games we have right now?
Well, my goal is to prep, Neverwinter, sorry. Cryptic's been around for 26 years. I want to make it last at least another 26. That means new games. It just does. Now, we're going to focus on our current games because I think they can grow. Why? Because I've seen it. I've seen it in other industries, in other games across the industry. If the devs care and the players care, it can grow. Absolutely grow.
We do care. So you guys have to match that.
I saw a question about advertising. Yes, in Neverwinter, and Star Trek, advertising will be kicking in more and more. Last one. Please fix achievements and grant the legacy ones for us players that missed the launch. Yeah, I'm not sure about the. If you miss the launch, you miss the launch. But the other stuff I can understand. Maybe. Any chance of no? I can't answer that one.
We have another one. A poll recently went out regarding Neverwinter Classic, but that might predate you. Do you have any opinion on that? Are you still interested in maybe bringing that into the game?
There's no question that Update 16 was hugely controversial to a large portion of our fans. No question. There's also no question that there is a hunger out in the community of gamers for nostalgia. You know, we're seeing lots of successful returns. You could put one and one together, right? It's certainly an option, but we need to think about it. We really need to think about it. Ooh, anything about AI? Oh, this is a great question because it's very complex and touchy. So here's my thing. AI is just a tool, just like Maya or 3D Studio Max for artists or Excel for systems designers. Just a tool. It's only as good as the person utilizing it. In my experience, it's very difficult for AI to do things in game development without very careful curation. Now, this means that it's possible someday in the future that AI can be used to make people more productive and enable them to make more cool stuff. We're not quite there yet. I haven't really seen it. I'm not against it. It's possible. I'm not just going to say no AI ever, but at least at the moment, Cryptic isn't really using AI for a lot. That doesn't mean we wouldn't. It just means that it isn't ready yet for our needs. Let's see. What else? I see some. Do you plan to launch a server in South America or improve infrastructure? Stay tuned. Ideas of returning to a real forum for Neverwinter. Yeah, okay, let me write that down. Good suggestion. I'm just skimming through here, so if anybody has any questions. I think I already mentioned champions. Look, we've got a team of people working on it. They're going to be adding stuff. I can't speak to specifics right now about it. But if you guys have ideas, shoot them my way. Is Neverwinter going to PS4 to PS5? Probably not anytime soon.
We have another question for all the games. Do you still have high-level goals that you want to champion for the games? A focus on retaining players or getting new ones?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, to me, for these games, it's making sure that our current players and former players, those are two major focuses. When a game's 15 years old, you've had millions of people come through the door, and it's a matter of bringing them back and re-engaging them that I think is a major growth strategy, and what I've seen in work in other places.
I mean, you have a lot of experience now, right? In the industry, with other places that you can apply to the Cryptic games once again.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate. I think I've been part of a dozen MMORPGs of size in North America and Europe. So yeah, I think so.
Nice. All right. Are you planning to bring back some of the old Cryptic devs to help restore legacy knowledge?
Look, if we have positions and it's a fit, I'll hire the best person possible, whether it's former Cryptic or new blood or whatever. I'm not against it. Look, this is what I told everybody when I came aboard. I'm not interested in turning over everybody and bringing in my guys. That isn't really what I'm here for. I might have founded Cryptic and maybe been a large part of what, maybe been a large part of the culture. But I've been gone 10 years. It's a brand new company with a lot of new faces. And the values and beliefs and ideas that these people have, well, I've been hired to champion for them. And it's not just for me to come in and squash whatever progress or evolution has happened. Rather, it's for me to come up to speed and understand it, accept it, and guide it to the best of my ability.
All right,
Jack, how do you? Sure, shoot.
Just wanna. This is out to you guys in the chat. If you ask for when is a specific bug fix coming, are you fixing this specific system? We can't really answer that today. That's not really what the stream is about. And also, Jack does not know every single bug. Neither do I. And we don't want to promise things or talk about things that we don't have the developers for that are already working on it, most likely. Oh, somebody asked if we are considering releasing a yearly roadmap for Neverwinter.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting idea. I don't know whether yearly is good because stuff can change, but certainly, like, I mentioned Warhammer. Like, Warhammer has a roadmap going out 3-6 months. Right now they're previewing Red Corsairs, and so you know that they're coming. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I also think that's fun. As someone who gets asked that question a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, any chance of Twitch drops for Stow or other games? Is that something you want to implement in the future?
That sounds great. That's probably outside of my. I focus mainly on the games. Arc focuses mainly on the interface, the public and things like that.
So that's mostly a question for me. Yes, I want to bring that in sometime this year, hopefully.
Yeah, you have my support. There you go. Where did Magic Legends go? It was canceled. It's gone. I had no part of it. I wasn't here for any of it. So I can't really speak to that, other than the fact that, it's gone. Plans for STO server performance. Thomas, what do you think? Can you make it better?
Yeah, we can make it better. It's high on my list of the things that I want to do this year, and it's really important, I think, for all players, but especially our our most loyal, most engaged players. That's a big audience for us, and it's really important to me. It's something that we're going to be. I know Jeremy talked about it a lot last week, but it's essentially a process we're always looking at and working with software engineers to find areas where we can make targeted improvements as we continue to operate the game this year.
Okay, let's see. Somebody's very obsessed with class balance and range and melee. Okay, and Neverwinter. All right, we'll get. I'll go bitch to the design team about that.
Design team, you have been warned.
Yeah, design team. Do you have plans to partner with content creators to bridge communities for? Yeah, sure. Yeah, look, I'm going to be doing these live streams every 4 months, so you can come and vent, say whatever it is you want to do.
We also already do collaborations with content creators on Star Trek Online for streams, and we're also going to start sending out some nice messaging and maybe some giveaway things to our content creators for the next content drop. So keep your eyes peeled for Star Trek Online. Somebody said get more hamsters for the wheel that powers the Stow servers. I think we can do that we can get you guys some more hamsters.
So no plans for Champions. I think I just said I have a team of people on Champions. There's no such thing as DECA. That doesn't exist. I have Cryptic employees. There's no more DECA. So
it's only us now.
Yeah, it's only Cryptic. So I saw somebody about solo player. I've been playing a ton of solo on Neverwinter, so I've been pretty good so far. I think I've mentioned the difficulties of crossplay. What is Jack's favorite video game of all time? Crush, Crumble, Chomp. There you go. Look that up, everybody. Crush, Crumble, Chomp. Anything else, gang?
I think we had something more of, this is interesting to know your opinion on. Somebody asked, given your experience in the field, he's curious to hear what you have to say on the recent Ashes of Creation situation and how it impacts the MMO scene.
I mean, obviously it's sad. I don't like seeing developers go out of work. I don't like seeing MMOs go under. I don't know enough about the financial situation to really be able to speak about it, other than to say that making video games is really expensive. And if you're trying to make an MMO, I think it would be a challenge to get anything of significant size for under 50 million. And that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And one of the major reasons why large companies, publishers avoid it, because the bust ratio is so high. It's so high in general. I have no idea what Ash's creation investment was. I don't know how many units they sold. But at least that gives you an idea. I think I did see something like they raised $3 million. And in my experience, that I mean, sure, you can get a prototype for $3 million. You might even get something playable for $3 million. Half an hour of content, maybe. But you just need a lot. Anything else?
Somebody asked, do you focus a lot on analytics, like KPIs, or what's your approach to that in general?
Well, you know, the two things the first thing I always look at is the running 30-day total of players. That's my number one thing to go to. Because if that's rising, 2 thumbs up. If it's declining, why is it declining? And to be very self-centered, I've been trying to figure out whether my announcement of me coming back really did anything. I think it did. So that's my first thing. And then secondly, I look at ARPU, the average revenue per user. But I don't go much deeper. I mean, I do look at some level of retention. I look at returning players, things like that. But mostly those are just barometers on the health of the game. Because then I get in and I play the game and I try to connect the data to what I'm actually experiencing. So I can figure out where the disconnects are.
Yeah, I do think that's a very clever way to handle it. And we do look at these numbers and always try to figure out where they come from. What are your thoughts on changing the content structure of STO to support more sense of exploration?
I've got an idea. I haven't told. I think I suggest. Thomas, didn't I suggest to you an idea?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's insane. But... Let's see if it comes through. I don't know.
And I'll just piggyback on this. I mean, this is also something that is important to me, and something that I would love to reinforce the feeling of when you're playing STO that you're in the Star Trek universe, right? And so that doesn't necessarily need to mean a whole like gameplay system, but if the environment is more interactive, if there are more things to do as you're flying around sector space, like all that stuff adds up to that feeling, and it rewards exploration, and that feeling of exploration. So philosophically, that's where I'm at. I think that's important. I also think it's important to keep telling the cool cinematic episodes we got. I think that's a core part of Stowe's DNA too. So it's just a balance for us.
I see a lot of people complaining about the grinding level in Neverwinter. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, I think it's that the recent content, like the last 2 modules, have been very
Okay,
grind heavy.
I will take a look at it.
I think there's a lot of very specific questions.
Yeah, I know it's going by so fast. It's like,
Yes.
oh my god.
Over
Yeah,
500 people on Twitch. That's awesome.
We gotta redo the Zen store. Say hi to Oreo, everybody. Yeah, I will look at the grind, gang. Like I said, I'm playing. I haven't hit Red Harvest. I'm just trying to get a feel for shit, and that's why I did Rothe Valley first, and then I did Undermountain, and then I'm gonna jump in. I can't talk about advertising because it's just not. I had too much on my plate. I need to focus on the games. I let the experts handle that. Yes, I actually, my wife and I did cat rescue for years. So any cat that we couldn't have adopted, we kept. So Oreo was a wild one, but he's not anymore. Oh, and here's a little bit of Jack trivia. In at night, I'm working on my PhD in Greek and Latin. So if you have any questions there you go.
Really?
Oreo was named. Yes, I am.
That's
My
really
dissertation focus is divination and Ammianus Marcellinus. There you go.
That's very cool, but sadly my Latin is a little rusty. Since I finished high school, I haven't really been using it very much. It doesn't come up in casual conversation that much, I've noticed.
Not as much as you would think. Yeah, guys, I've seen some stuff on PvP, and I'm going to be dead honest with you. I blow at PvP. I've been designing games for 26 years, and I've never done a good job at it. I just lament. I think I'm terrible at it. What about a 40K MMO for the next game? Well, you got 50 million? I'll do it.
I'll help. I'm a fan. Somebody asked, what are you personally looking forward to the most now that you're back at the helm of the ship?
What am I looking forward to the most? What am I looking in? Man, stuff like that we're doing now. Just interacting with fans who really enjoy the game. Working with the dev team when they know that I care, not only about the game, but about them. Most of them don't know me. Even Thomas, he knows of me, but didn't really know me directly.
No, we talked in the bathroom one time. I think that was really our only direct interaction when we were both at Cryptic the first time around.
I care very deeply about the community of our games, and that includes you, the players, and that includes the devs. Yeah. What's the biggest challenge I want to help Cryptic solve? I want to grow. Month on month. How can we grow? How can we add users? It's going to be, we've got some stuff to fix. We need to regain confidence, you guys. But if all of you could help me, the more people that come back, the more I can hire. The more I can hire, the more I can fix, the more I can add. It's very simple. And that's what I need. That's what I need.
All right. I think somebody's asking about a Switch 2 port for our games.
I ordered a game to Switch. It did not go well. I'm not going to do it again. It's a trap. I don't know what to say. I was so excited for it. I really thought it was going to be amazing. It played great. It just didn't do well.
I've seen the question mostly for Neverwinter. Are we planning on putting any new languages in translation for the game?
If we get new territory, sure.
There you hear it. You have to play more. Yes, a lot of people are asking
Crossplay is
about
really important.
South American languages.
I'll see what I can do there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think we answered crossplay a couple times now, people. Since you're now re-exploring the games you're responsible for, how do you view the various tutorials?
Well, they're ancient. Right? Like, oh God, right? I mean, that's the reality. But it's also a reality that going back and fixing them, in my experience, has very little overall effect in the game at this stage. Most people who are brand new and fresh, who are doing a tutorial, coming into a game that's 15 years old, is either going to accept it for its flaws or leave. If I make the tutorial better, it's not going to improve the percentage chance. And I've literally done this for decades, and I've never seen any time that it's been worth it.
All right, guys, we really answered the cross-faction question. Crossplay. Neverwinter question often enough now.
What's your idea about making more people play tank? I always play tank healer. You know why? Because I always get in a group. Like, I mean, the tank healer thing, gang, that goes back, I mean, into EverQuest, Jesus, right? Like, how long you'd sit your ass there waiting to find one. So, I don't know. It's the eternal struggle. Nobody likes doing it. Any new class coming in the future for Neverwinter? I don't know when, but sure. I mean, yeah. Hey, what is this Barovia stuff? I'm gonna have to look into it. I don't know whether it's the same person or multiple people complaining about Barovia bans, but I'll take a look.
Yeah, it seems that quite a while ago, quite a few players got banned within the game for exploits, so that's something we would need to look back on to find out what went down back then.
You know, my opinion on exploits, usually it's our fault that we introduced it, not so much punishing people. So let me take a look at, I'll take a look.
Somebody already said it's a can of worms. Also, the Neverwinter CM isn't here tonight, so when it comes to the things he should also look into, I cannot make any promises on his behalf.
Any chance? Yeah, I've said mothball missions. I don't know why they were mothballed, but I don't know why we couldn't bring them back. So we'll look into it. I'm writing it down on my stencil pad, mothball.
Mm-hmm.
We're all making...
Yeah, and I'll have more to say about that soon too.
Yes, we're also going to have
classes
Thomas
in
say hi
STO
in
are
a
practically no longer relevant. Do you think you can help make each career path in STO important and unique? Thomas, make them important and unique by the end of the year. There, I do.
There we go. I'm
see.
That's interesting because I actually see this is one of the things about designing a game, right? Is you have people who think that way, and then I actually think that the flexibility of stow classes is one of the coolest things about the game. So you know, but we'll make them interesting and unique by the end of the year, right? Jeremy's in chat, so he's on it.
Go back to vendor for full price and currency paid. Okay, any new factions or reputations in STO? I don't think so. Love the She-Hulk burn. Yeah. Actually, there's a theme to all of my statues back here if you want to look up. They're all organized thematically. Special no prize to anybody who can identify that. I had this built before COVID. Little did I know that it would become my new home away from home.
There's a lot of people talking about old play experiences. But yeah, Guys, when it comes to more specific content plans, content drops, roadmaps, we either cannot tell you here right now, or we're still working on mapping it all out. I see those questions repeated quite a lot.
Yeah. Will Foundry ever come back? Yeah, I'll look into it. How does it feel coming back to STL? Oh, it's nice. It's great. Remember, I was born in '69, so when I'm a kid sitting at home on a black and white TV with an antenna, the only thing I had sci-fi wise was Star Trek, right? Back in those days, like you read Lord of the Rings because that's all you had, and there were comic books which I read a ton of, and then you had Star Trek, and Star Wars came out, but it's great.
Oh, I have a question that matches that actually. Somebody asked, is there any Trek actor you would like to see in Star Trek Online that isn't there?
So I'm watching Starfleet Academy, and the two that jump out at me, and I'm afraid, well, three, what's the chancellor of the school?
Holly Hunter.
She's really, yeah, she's really good. Then the kid, who's kind of the main focus,
Caleb.
Yeah, he's really good. And then the Klingon dude, holy shit, man, he's
Craig. I like him a lot.
Holy shakies, that guy can act like an MFer.
Very well censored. Just a note, this is not a promise of someone coming into the game. Please don't pull us up.
No,
on
I was
that
just telling you,
here.
like, I really like, oh, and then, did we ever get, what's his name from Strange New Worlds, the captain?
Anson Mount. No, we don't have him yet. I would love to get him in the game.
He seems like a really nice guy. I've seen him in so many different things. I'm like, he just seems like a cool dude.
I've met him. He is a nice guy. He's actually really well spoken, really smart guy. I'd love to have him in STO someday for sure.
Yeah, years ago I spent a considerable, like 5 or 6 hours one-on-one with Leonard Nimoy because he wouldn't work on the game until he got to know us in the game, and that dude was. Leonard Nimoy was incredibly smart, like really, really smart guy. We talked Plato because he knew I knew the Greek stuff. He's a really, really good guy. Do I have Angron behind me? No, Angron is not yet out. These are the Primarchs from the Horus Heresy, but not behind me. I think that's probably Horus that you're seeing.
All right. All right. We wanted to. I think a question that came up among us is if you want to talk more about your perspective on nostalgia and how it might impact Cryptic under your leadership.
I think game. D&D by and large is not a hell of a lot different than it was 40 years ago. You roll a d20, you add your bonuses, you take some penalties, and you resolve an action. And the reason why D&D survives is because that basic mechanic is fun. And at the end of the day, if a game is fun, the graphics, none of that matters. Because you'll come to it for the enjoyment. And that's one of the reasons that Cryptic's been around 26 years. Is because at the end of the day, playing Neverwinter is fun. Playing Star Trek is fun. Playing Champions is fun. And I've always believed that the role of games is to provide... I used to say, look, we're Cheers. It's where everybody knows your name. It's an old TV series. Look it up if you don't know what it is. But basically, like, a place of comfort, a place where you can be a hero, a place where you're not stressing. We all have tough lives, but I always wanted to give that hour or 2 or 3, 4 hours for you to escape, because that's what all of these things were for me. Escape. when I was younger. Sorry that didn't answer anybody's questions, but
I think it was a great insight. I mean,
Can
I'm
I
also...
can I
Yes.
piggyback off that for a minute? Because I mean, I think the kind of going off what Jack was saying is nostalgia is really, it's not just giving you what you remember, it's making you feel the way you used to feel, right? And I think that's an important distinction, and it's an important thing for us to remember as we make these things. It's not just about the facts of, oh, here's an Andorian, here's the Doomsday Machine, here's Spock, right? Like you can throw all that stuff at the wall, but it's thinking about the first time that you saw the whale probe and the awe, or V'ger, and like, oh my God, what is that? Like that is, we're not after the reference, we're after that emotional, those notes of wonder, of friendship. To me, that's really what nostalgia is about. And so you have to think more about making people feel those emotions, and less about just making the comic book guy kind of, in episode 2, blah, 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 this happened.
how many people do we have on here? 543. Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We have another question. Are you planning to change the monetization models of the games?
Probably. I think that what people want to spend money on today and how they want to spend their money is perhaps different than it was 15 years ago. And I have some ideas, but I'm not ready to share them yet. When we first did Star Trek and we first did Neverwinter, we had a philosophy. We didn't want to monetize people for 20 hours. We wanted people to fall in love with the game and pay us because they wanted to, not because they had to. I'm not saying that isn't our philosophy now. I don't think that's changed. That's just my fundamental philosophy. You spend things because it's fun, not because you feel like you have to. And, the reality is these are commercial enterprises. And if we don't turn a profit, well, then we can't grow. Like, it's that simple. But I have some ideas, and, maybe you'll see them roll out, or maybe I'll be more willing to discuss. So, later.
This is a little bit connected. Do you have any plans for attracting new players to the games?
I'd have to work with marketing. I could tell you that my main focus is reacquiring old players. Like I said, there's millions. Oh, several people have asked about STLs for various figures, characters. The reason why that's nigh impossible, gang, is because technically all of the art in game is owned by the IP holders, not us. So, there are various games, for example, that sell D&D figures. The last thing that they would want is somebody on Neverwinter being able to print out their character. Can you mention any more specific plans for Champions Online other than we have a team working on? No, because I don't know the plans off the top of my head. Each of the people running each of the different departments has presented me a plan, and I have not yet reviewed Champions yet. I just started, gang. It's a big company I'm getting to know.
Yes, give him some time. Like he said, Jack's gonna be back on stream at some point, so
Yeah.
he will have updates with time.
If I want to bring old players back, you need new systems and mechanics. Well, that's the thing. We do have them. I've come back playing 10 years ago. The game is totally different. Totally different. It's a challenge, though.
That's the problem.
What else, gang?
Yes, there's going to be an AMA tomorrow, which we're gonna do live for about an hour. You were also able to submit your questions in advance, which we're also answering right now. So if you miss anything today,
Yeah, the
Would,
roadmap
Navi-
stuff's very popular.
okay.
That seems easy, doesn't it? Thomas?
Yeah, we it's something we've already talked about. We've got a good plan for Stowe for sure. So that's definitely something we can push out soon.
Yeah. Wouldn't translations attract more players? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. In my experience, sometimes those things cost more than there will. Those people are already playing the game. What class would I like for Neverwinter? It's a good one. I have something in mind, but it's a setting, not a class. But I'm not going to say anymore.
you can ask the question next time if nothing
Hey,
new has come by then.
whoever keeps spading, like, maybe don't ban tunes. Bro, I haven't been here 10 years. I haven't banned anyone.
Yes, please, if you have feedback regarding the games themselves and maybe how they're currently being handled, anything regarding moderation or anything, there are official discords for all 3 games that are being watched. There's also Reddit subreddits for this, so please direct that kind of feedback there so we can collect it and pass it on to Jack if needed. Are you planning to help people that have less time to play on these endless grinding of the games? I think this is mostly focused on Neverwinter.
Yeah, I think that on the one hand you have time, on the other hand you have money, right? That's life. The more money you have, the less time you spend to do something, right? I could either paint my own house or pay somebody else. And that's a typical transaction between time and money. But I need to take a look at the grind because several of you pointed out I'm ignorant. I'll look into it and I'll take a look and see.
I think your list is getting longer and longer with this stream.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That's what the stream's for.
Alright, guys. One last round for anyone who really wants to get a question off their chest that isn't, can you fix this thing tomorrow? Otherwise, we'll start rounding up the stream for now because Thomas also wants to come on for a second.
Yep.
Yes.
Is there any truth to devs not being able to use ideas from players? I'm not aware of any such limitation. Lord knows I've taken inspiration from all over. So, any big plans for Star Trek 60th? Yes. Yeah. Where do you hope to be in a year, still before a 16-month major decision? I just want more players next January than this January in each of our games. That's what I want. That's a good way to end, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Give me 1 second to get Thomas on screen so you guys can actually see him. Gonna make Jack a little smaller. This is like my kind of developer stream. You just see my work. All right, Thomas, you're on.
Awesome. Hey everybody. I'm beyond humbled and excited to be Star Trek Online's executive producer. This is not a path that I would have expected for myself as a forum poster back in 2010. In fact, I've got my original copy of the collector's edition that I pre-ordered from GameStop here. So it's been a wild ride the past 16 years. Like I've been pretty much with the game. I started at Cryptic in 2010. Actually working for Atari on the website, and then I got pulled over to work as a UI artist on the game, and then of course transitioned to ships, and then ship lead, and then art director, and now we're here as executive producer. This game obviously means a lot to me. Star Trek means a lot to me. It's always been a thing that is it's become my whole identity since taking this job, frankly. But I think we can all relate to the stories that we love being an important part of who we are, right? And I think that's one of the things about Star Trek fans, for better and worse, is that, you know, we take these things very seriously and we love them passionately and we want to live in this world. And I think that's one of the awesome things about Stowe, is that it is you know, it's that manifestation of Star Trek as a place. I remember seeing Jack's announcement about, you know, Star Trek Online and Cryptic taking over Stowe and development of Stowe, and being really excited, and especially because City of Heroes was the first, and really other than Champs and Stowe, the only MMO that I ever really put a bunch of time into, and it was because it wasn't a fantasy game, and so it was really, when I heard that Cryptic was developing Stowe, I was like, oh man, those guys know what they're doing. And I got really excited. I got in the closed beta of Champions so that I could get in the closed beta of Stowe, and I've been here ever since, playing the game right alongside you all. So I'm over the moon to be in this position. I'm privileged to work with so many other developers who, you know, even with the newer folks who came with us on this transition to ARC, they are very passionate about the game. They love Star Trek. There are a lot of great, like, a lot of people have been familiar with the franchise for a long time. We've got veterans who've worked on other Star Trek games, and you know, we have big plans for this year. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We're going to do some things that are a little different that I think, and I hope that players will really enjoy. We're definitely going to lean into the 60th anniversary of the franchise and tackle that nostalgia that we were talking about earlier. So yeah, I'll be on the stream next week, and we can talk more in this capacity, but I wanted to make sure and say hello now that I've been announced, as it were.
All right. I think that is the end of it for tonight. Thomas is also going to appear on next week's Stowe stream, so if you have any questions waiting for him, we can do it then. So please tune in for a fun shipbuild stream next week. And Thomas. All right. I think we've answered everything. If you guys have any more questions about the games, you can join our Discord and keep an eye out for any upcoming streams. And with that, any last words, Jack?
No, thank you all for coming. Can't wait to talk to you in a few months. We can see what sort of difference I may or may not have been able to make. And yeah, can't wait.
Yes. All right. Have a wonderful night, everyone. See you next time.
See ya.
What did you guys think? Okay. So, that was, I guess, the first official stream on the return. You know, I remember when Chris Whiteside came in, and they did a similar thing. And Julia did it, kind of like introducing him to everyone. And it was kind of the same thing. Yeah, return in his mind. Yeah, you know, it's good. So it was kind of the same thing with the Chris Whiteside, where he's like, you know, you know, I just got here. and I'm playing the game. I'm trying to, I'm trying to just get like my arms wrapped around stuff. So this has a very similar feel to it, where and they said from the very beginning, don't like trying to pepper him with very detailed technical questions is not the right thing. I mean, you would be better off doing that tomorrow in the dedicated Neverwinter AMA on Reddit, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Kevin and others, Obi, yeah, I'm going to cover everything he talked about today, including stuff with Neverwinter. And, okay, so we're going to go over that. Okay, so I'm not just going to kind of leave you hanging, okay? I'm not going to just say, later nerds kind of stuff. We're going to go over as best I can what he talked about. I made notes. And the thing is, they did stream in the, oddly enough, they streamed in the Star Trek Online category, which, thank you. Yeah, Harper, how's it going? Good to see you again. Yeah, we're going to go over everything. And it's nice to see some familiar names here. I appreciate that. I haven't streamed in the Neverwinter category in probably 6 years, so this is kind of a special day. Let's take a look. Yeah, Harper Steele, can you believe it? She was. I remember all of you people. I remember everyone. So they got a new. Oh, let me show you the. Let me show you this. We'll keep that up. This is what we're looking at here, guys and girls. Today probably wouldn't have happened unless we got this. Now, this is my bad attempt at some Microsoft software, whatever it's called. I should have put a darker background. What's that crap called? But this is what we have now. Yeah, Pest Dummy is, of course, the only reason we exist. He is God. So we got Project Golden Arc as the new company. And it's an interesting choice of names, but they did keep Arc in there. And let's keep in mind that this is basically a group of people who originally sold the kit and caboodle to Embracer for $120 million. And the reason they sold, which no one will tell you, but I will, is because of the failure of Magic Legends. That's why they sold. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Magic Legends failed. They had to take a huge loss. And the stakeholders probably said, all these big companies are buying. Let's cash in. So they put together all these marketing materials, which was a complete joke. I never seen so much false information than what was in their marketing materials when they put everything up, Perfect World and everything up for sale. They were trying to talk about like that they had 18 million players or whatever. I mean, you could have 18 million on your database, but a third of them are bots from the old days, and then another 60% aren't even playing anymore. So to claim what's on your database is the current player base is very disingenuous. But they were able to sell the company for 120 million. And what's ironic about it is things got so bad for Embracer that they effectively bought it all back for 30 million. So they made $90 million, and the 30 million came from financing from another company who probably now has an ownership stake in Project Golden Arc. So not too shabby. Steven Sharif could have learned a few things from these guys. You know what I'm saying? Sharif, Ashes of Creation, he should have called these guys. He could have learned a few things from these guys. Nice work over there at Cryptic or Perfect World. Timmy's here too. Nice. Good to see some of you guys. Okay, so this is the current structure. What we had today was the new CEO, not of Neverwinter, the new CEO of Cryptic Studios. And today was an introduction, which we've seen before with Chris Whiteside. So they streamed in the STO channel, so we kind of knew what we were up against here. If you want specific Neverwinter stuff, and I do have some from today, they will be having an AMA tomorrow in Reddit on the Neverwinter subreddit. So Cryptic Studios, now the band is back together. There's no more Deca. Everyone works. All the devs are working on stuff for Cryptic Studios now. They're no longer scattered to the winds. Arc Games is the publisher. Arc Games does more than just Neverwinter. Arc Game publishes Neverwinter, Star Trek, other games, and they've got a new game coming out called Order of the Sinking Star, which is a puzzle game. I'm already on the wish list for that. And so Arc Games is now independent, but still under the umbrella of Project Golden Arc. So they're very happy over there at Arc Games. They get to focus on what it is they do and be publisher for AA games. Not AAA games, AA games. Josh Hayes would show up, but I guess, well, yeah, Josh is too big for Neverwinter now. So no reason for him to come back to this, you know. So he made it, you know. Okay, so I'm going to get into the Q&A stuff that I have notes for. And the very first thing that I wanted to make sure to bring up was their viewer count, which went over 500 today, which is pretty good. So they're I mean, you guys know the deal. You know, these games are not, you know, they're not knocking the socks off the gaming world. You know the deal. Star Trek Neverwinter Champions, you know, people don't walk around talking about these games. You know, they'll be talking about Arc Raiders, World of Warcraft, Path of Exile. But no one talks about this stuff. No one talks about these games. So, to get 500 today as his first stream back is pretty good. And I think there's a lot of STO and people in there that they did stream in that category, which I still find very interesting. Okay, so the very first thing is Jack used to work. He was one of the people that founded Cryptic Studios. So, you know, for him to come back is probably a good sign for them. And the timing was interesting. The timing was interesting. After they formed this new company, Project Golden Arc, that's when he came back. So it kind of is all coming together in that sense. It's kind of all coming together in that sense. Disabled people, yeah, I don't know anything about that. There were so many questions, Connor. So many questions. Get it tomorrow. Get it in the AMA. You could start asking questions right now in the Reddit AMA. Go post over in the Reddit subreddit AMA for Neverwinter about the disabled stuff. Yeah, they do that a lot, Harper. They make a lot of mistakes with that. They're not professional streamers or anything like that. They did pretty good today. Yeah, Josh is, you know, it's kind of an interesting story for him. And, you know, you just got to find your way. He used to stream Neverwinter back in the day, and just literally no one watched him. When he started making videos, and that's when he shined. And so, you know, if you're a content creator, keep trying different stuff, I guess, and see what you're best at. He is definitely best at pre-recorded content. There's no question about it. I love the sting and interaction of live streaming, but I just don't have a game, and that's the reason I'm here today, folks. What am I doing here today? Okay, Jack told you what he's doing here today, and I'll cover that. Let me tell you what I'm doing here today. What I'm doing here today is checking to see what the potential future of this game is, and what is the possibility of a classic version of the game being released before I start pushing up daisies, if you know what I mean. I got a little bit of information on that today, and I'm going to tell you it's not the best news. Okay. Yeah. Jack is currently playing the current version of Neverwinter, and what I don't understand is, just recently, there was a content creator called Aragon. I don't really know him. He made a Neverwinter video, and he was talking to Jack. And Jack point blank asked him, would you be interested in a classic version of Neverwinter? And he basically said, well, he's concerned that it would disrupt the current game. That's the gist of it that I got. So that's coming from someone who plays the current game. And but I was kind of excited because Jack actually asked the question. He actually asked the question. So, oh, by the way, today, again, I'm only interested in Neverwinter. He did do some talking about Star Trek Online and Champions Online. And, I mean, there's people that play Star Trek Online. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable that that game still has a fan base. And so, I mean, that's good. If you look at these games and look at New World, which had all the money in the world behind it, and you look at Ashes of Creation, you could look at these games and realize that they monetize the game correctly. It's not that Eastern gotcha system, like of the Eastern MMOs, which are weird and different, but they found a way to do it correctly with these games. And I could talk specifically about Neverwinter. They monetized it in a good way. You want to be a whale and spend a ton of money? Go ahead. You want to be smart? You want to be smart and learn to work the markets? You could become rich without spending one penny, not one penny. So you have options. So from what I can see, they monetize the games correctly. There's a lot of sunk costs in these games. So I don't think it takes much to maintain these games. There's a lot of sunk costs there, and as you can see, with the content that's been coming out, it's not exactly knocking the socks off the gaming world, the content that's been coming out. Okay. Here is Jack's number one goal. And I think I've got it written down 3 times on my notes. And it's funny what his goal is. His goal is to bring more people back to these games. He specifically said, there are millions of people that don't play these games anymore, and he wants to bring them back. So that's his goal. He wants to bring them back. Of course, what you want to do and how you get there is a you know, that's where you have a disconnect, is what you want and how you're going to do it. That's the disconnect, okay? And I'll keep an eye on chat too, so I'll keep going back and forth. Anyone watching this on YouTube, appreciate it. I'll upload it to YouTube. Yeah, the thing about disruption for Classic, we'll get into that. And keep in mind, guys, any Neverwinter questions from me, a current game, I don't touch the game. So, you know, whatever's going on with the current game, I don't touch that game. He wants to bring back more players. And here's something else he said. And this is the same thing Chris Whiteside said. I just got here. You know, I'm going to need 6 to 8 months before I can make any kind of difference. They're already working on modules. Good to see Dead Mono. Dead Mono is probably, if you talk about the community, he is the closest to this company without being an employee, as far as I know, that we have. That's Dead Mono. No changes for 6 to 8 months, similar to what we got with Chris Whiteside. They're currently working on modules, so you know how that goes. They're always working on something that's going to be coming out later. Okay. He is a gamer, and he plays is what is being developed. So again, like Chris Whiteside, who came in and just started playing Neverwinter, and Jack's doing the same thing. He's playing the game, and the other teams are already working on stuff. So what are you going to do? You can't just come in and disrupt everything. So he has to meet everyone, learn everyone, play the games. And remember, he is the CEO of Cryptic Studios. He's not a lead dev for Neverwinter. That's a good question. Put that in the Reddit AMA. How many employees do you have? He is a Cryptic Studios CEO. He's not the lead dev for Neverwinter. Maybe the lead dev for Neverwinter will be on the Reddit AMA tomorrow. I already asked a question in there yesterday. You could have started asking questions several days ago. Okay? So when it comes to game-specific stuff, it's a little bit more, a gray area for him to be able to answer. He is the CEO of Cryptic. No changes for 6 to 8 months. The team is doing their work. Let me check up on chat real quick. I expect to see changes of mod 35 at the earliest. High-level decision-making. But a lot needs him to actually get a proper understanding of the game. Yeah, exactly. Current CMs are CM, Kyrie. Okay, so I didn't even know who the community managers were anymore. The lady who was talking today, I don't know who that is. Maybe that's Kyrie. I don't know. Yeah, he's going to start from the bottom up. I think he said he's in Undermountain right now. Temporary campaigns are unpleasant as a player who likes to try to unlock everything. Burnout reached its peak with the enchantment change. Well, there's been so many changes to the game over the years, and some were minor, some were disruptive. And they, like he said, this isn't coming from me. Oh, she's a STO. Okay, got it. Guys, this isn't coming from me, okay? He acknowledged he said there are millions of people who do not play Neverwinter anymore. Okay? So he knows, and he keeps talking about returning players. I want to get the old players back. That's what he keeps talking about. Okay? He's a gamer and plays what he's developing. Okay, and I already got the answer. I said, who's that lady? So we got that answer. Foundry is looking like a big no for Neverwinter because of all the issues that it caused. And he was there during the Foundry days. So don't hold your breath expecting Foundry to come back in any iteration of Neverwinter, whether it be the current game or a future classic version of the game, which we'll talk about if it ever does happen. Okay? Don't expect Foundry to ever have a place back in this game. Okay? Although he did say later, we'll investigate, and you know what that means. And he's going to tackle other big things first before even thinking about something like the Foundry. Yeah, and the Foundry, people keep talking about it. But, Dead Mono, I don't understand why you're not a, VIP. Let's see if I could try to do that without turning the stream off. Then you could post links if you're a VIP. There you go. Post away. Okay, so Foundry, no. Crossplay is no. It's another thing people keep talking about. They keep talking about crossplay. And like how many different times do they have to answer the question? It's a technical challenge for this small company, and the economies just won't sync up. So crossplay is a no. It's a no. So no crossplay. Twitch drops. I will tell you guys about Twitch drops, okay? He kind of had no comment on Twitch drops because that's the guys. Why do I have this picture up? That's the publisher. The marketing and advertising is the publisher. That's Art Games. Guys, do you know what I did? I mean, you probably don't remember. In 2019, at what has turned out to be the final E3 in Los Angeles, I went there. And I specifically talked to the guy from Perfect World who was promoting some gun-playing game or something. And, you know, my interest was Magic Legends at the time. So I was talking to him about Magic Legends. And then he gave me his card, and I wrote him an email, and I said, you know, can you guys do something to get Twitch loot drops? You're missing a huge opportunity with these streamers, all pouring their heart in. No one shows up on the Twitch category for this game. I mean, it averages probably 10 viewers. And he wrote me back. He went to the management at Art Games, and they said, we just technically can't do it. So Twitch drops is a no. I'll tell you right now, it's a no. Big changes, plans, but be careful, because what he is saying is that Neverwinter is a stable game right now, and they don't want to make huge changes to it like Mod 16 because he's afraid more people will quit. So I will make a statement. If you love or like or accept the current version of Neverwinter, then you know, I think you should be happy, because it can't. I don't want to say this. It can't get any worse. Is the only way for me to put it. So they're not going to make huge changes that are going to disrupt everything. You could look at that both ways. Like, people kept asking in their chat, like strongholds, right? I mean, strongholds people have been talking about for many, many years. We chewed that stuff up, guys. We chewed it up. We would spend 12 hours straight as a guild on the weekends doing stuff for strongholds. We ate that stuff up. And I think what occurred was, and it's something they do a lot, they bring in like outside contractors to do some of the stuff, and then they let the contractors go when it's done. And then when it comes time to change what they've done, they don't want to touch it. So that happens a lot with this game in the past. So I don't think you're going to see big things like that. I just don't at this point in time. What do you mean? Okay, hold on, let me check chat. Roll back class changes from Mod 16. Well, that's, they're not going to do that. Mecha, the only way you would get anything pre-Mod 16 is if they released a classic version of the game. That's the only way. Every mod is the same, heroics and weeklies, yeah, and I've covered heroics over and over and over again. It's easy to code. In fact, on one of their AMAs, they said it takes us less than 1/8 the amount of time to make a heroic encounter than it does to make a dungeon. Less than 1/8. Not 1/8, less than 1/8, okay? Curious what your take is on this. Which I mean I'm gonna have to, like, I don't know. I didn't watch it. Cryptic Studios, renowned hilarious. Like I don't know what that is. Let me get through these notes and then we'll see. I got to stay focused a little bit. No big updates. More fashion coming to Neverwinter. He actually was complaining about guilds. Oh, it's just a clip. He actually said that they didn't do guilds good. They didn't do guilds good. And probably because they're not extendable.
What are your plans to restore consumer confidence in lockbox items in the recent controversies regarding surrounding heavy nerfs, false advertisement, and lack of compensation? So it's real easy, guys. I can't say anything to what happened before. I really can't. But all I can tell you is, do I look or seem like the person that's going to put up for any bullshit? And I mean this really sincerely. Like, just imagine.
Like, what exactly? I don't know exactly what they were referring to, what the lockboxes. Like, was there something going on with the lockboxes that I'm not, like, that I don't know about? Did some people get scammed or something? They paid for keys and didn't get what they wanted? I don't know. Okay, Then, okay, the vision. Make games for gamers. New games. Yes, eventually. He thinks, but, he thinks the current games can grow. Okay? Advertisers, but you were given why. Okay, got it. They should put that in the AMA tomorrow, so that the devs can look at it. Things happen. Yeah, I don't think they realize the importance of Twitch, Broken Arrow. They don't realize the importance, probably because I think the game's growth is happening on the consoles. I'm just gonna guess. And they're probably doing okay. And keep in mind, this company, if they tried to implement Twitch drops, there's a lot of scripting that has to be done. They would have to pay Twitch for it because they can't do it themselves. But if they ever did come out with a Neverwinter Classic or a huge expansion that was groundbreaking, that would be a good opportunity to make the investment into Twitch loot drops. There's no question about it. And don't go hiring Shroud to stream your game. That would be like, you know, just take care of like the Neverwinter people. Don't go chasing these, you know, the bigger streamers on Twitch. Okay, so new games, current games can grow. So I think I'm going to guess that the focus is going to be on current games. Don't expect anything new coming out of Cryptic Studios. His goal is to get people back into these 3 games. And they want to take the existing games and make them better. That's what I think is going on here. They want to take the existing games and make them better. Everything else is just talk. It's speculation. It's we would like to do that. It's on our radar. Remember how many times they said that in the past? It's on our radar, okay? Is there anything they can do to change that cause you to return? The ship has sailed. But there is one thing they can do, and the reason I'm actually covering this today, and I didn't start this. Dead Mono and others. I didn't start this. They did. They started this, not me. They came out with the survey. I didn't go running around holding my breath till my face turned blue. They're the ones that came out with the survey on Neverwinter Classic. I didn't do that. They did it. And then the link started going around. I think some of that was sent in game. The link started floating around. I think they got so many responses. So I'm not the one that started all this. If they did Neverwinter Classic, I would come back. But it's not. But I'm not the one that started this. They did, not me. They came out with the survey. So I'm basically just trying to provide my feedback right now, and saying, hey, look, here's my feedback. Okay, first of all, if you were to do a Neverwinter Classic, it's no sweat off my back, because it doesn't cost me any money. So I'm not going to tell you what to do, because you would be the one making the investment in it. So all I can tell you is, if you did do Classic, and if it was done a certain way, I know I would certainly come back, play, stream, make videos. But I'm not gonna pound the table. They're the ones that came out with the survey. So I'm not going to pound the table, because they would have to make the investment. If it blows up, I'm not going to say like, oh, sorry guys, they listened to me. No, they put out a survey on it. They can go look at the survey results and see what's going on. I assume they have everything they need. All the old software, anyone in the software industry here, you on a regular basis, your software is saved to a disaster recovery place in some other state. So it's all there. They could come out with the base game, make a bunch of QOL changes to it, fix all the bugs, invite some of us to spend 3 months testing it, all have a good time, under NDA, no problem, and release the base game to run alongside the current game. He said there's millions of people they want to bring back. If there's millions of people, then there's room for 2 games if there's millions of people. WoW can do it. So, but this didn't start with me. This started with them. Oh, and then come out with the base game, and then slowly release modules 1 through 5, and then cut right there for a while, and see how things are going. Okay, he said there's more advertising coming, but he's a developer. He's a developer. Well, yeah, Mod 6 was, for me, Mod 6 was kind of the beginning of the end. Mod 6 really, he said 6 to 8 months before he can take control. Mod 6 is when you really got to see the reliance and over-reliance on heroic encounters. Not only did they forget about the dungeons, and we lost all the dungeons, or most of them, they didn't even add any new ones. It's easier for them to make heroic encounters. We had to do 100 of them on each one. Was that Mod 6? We had to do 100? And then they amped it up in Mod 10, where it's no longer 100. Now you got to do... Now you got like probably a 20% chance to get the lanolin drop or whatever it is. So now you had to do thousands. But we found out in Mod 10 kind of why they over-relied on heroic encounters, although the dungeon was great. What is that dungeon? The dungeon was really good. I'm sure it's still there today. That was a great dungeon. They can do, if they put their mind to it, they can make great dungeons. And even the heroics in Sea of Moving Ice were pretty good. Man, what if they would have made that a queuable thing, like some kind of mini trial? The three big heroics in Sea of Moving Ice are actually pretty good. We grinded the hell out of those things, but they're dead code now. No one does them. So Anyway, more advertising, new classes. It's an option, but we need to think. Well, no. Not new classes. He finally addressed Neverwinter Classic. Okay. Yeah, we got like, and I mean, it was like, if you guys were here for the original game, remember how long the dungeons were. And then Foss started making them shorter and shorter and shorter. And they turned into kind of like skirmishes almost. And we had tons of skirmishes with the base game. We had, you know, long dungeons, amazing dungeons. You planned your afternoon out across on a dungeon. I'll still put Grey Wolf Den, Temple of the Spider, the original Grey Wolf Den and Temple of the Spider. I'll put that up against any dungeon they've done. And I'll put Castle Never above everything. You know, I know Castle Never was easy to exploit. That's not what I'm talking about. The original Castle Never was a 90-minute rated dungeon. 90 minutes. We would farm the first boss. When you go into Castle Never, what's up, KP? Yeah, you remember KP? The original Castle Never, when you went into that dungeon, like we were going in late at night, it was dark. Like, I mean, I felt the immersion. The sounds, the sights. The original Castle Never, I felt like I was in another world. It really had good atmosphere to it. And Thomas Foss, not to pick on a person's name, you know, I don't know what his game name is, but when we asked about bringing back the original Castle Never, he just waved his hand at us and said, "Oh, you mean that old dungeon? That 90-minute dungeon? Who wants to do that?" It just shows how out of touch they were back then. Okay, here's one of the times where a big question came in on Neverwinter Classic. And the response is not what I was looking for. The response was, it's an option, but we need to think about it. Now, either he's holding cards, and there's people working on it as we speak, or he just dropped a big bomb on us. And I'm not talking about us, I'm talking about me. Because there's people that like the current game. And like I've said before, I don't want to take that away from you. You like the current game, I'm happy for you. At least you got a game. Hello New World, hello Ashes of Creation. What else? What other games haven't survived? Neverwinter keeps chugging along. At least there's a game there. So he dropped kind of a bomb on us. He needs to think about it. Again, I don't know if he's holding cards or not. Even the campaign that took you into Neverdeath gave you a sample of what Castle Never was like. And it was very, very immersive. Very immersive. Guys, I was here week 1 for Neverwinter's release. Week 1. And I just, like, it was my first MMO. And I played it for half an hour, then went and watched the History Channel. Then went back and played it for half an hour, went and watched the History Channel. And then within a year, I was playing the game 12 hours a day. Farming, trying to get that healer set, because the dungeons were so hard to get the healer set. I actually had to like save up my AD to buy it from others. One purple hand up your butt on Grey Wolf Den and you're dead. Okay, so he kind of dropped a bomb a little bit on Neverwinter Classic, and I didn't get a good feeling. So he's going to focus. Here's my read on today. He's going to focus on the current games. He needs to get up to speed. You got new modules coming out. Don't expect them to take over the world. Don't expect anything different than what you're getting. Now, hopefully they do get you a dungeon instead of trial after trial after trial. Hopefully they get you guys a dungeon, And I prefer when they do modules that they give you at a minimum a queuable dungeon and a queuable skirmish. They should always do that on a new mod. And I mean, that's the least I think you could ask as a player. And a skirmish that's not in one room where you run around in circles and get dizzy. A skirmish like Master of the Hunt, and a dungeon where you're moving through an environment. There's plenty of dungeons in the game where you could look at as a reference. High-level goals is player retention. Player retention. Player acquisition and player retention. Keep in mind, guys, again, he's not the lead dev for Neverwinter. He's the new CEO for Cryptic Studios. Okay? So if the devs come to him and say, look, we have a working version of Neverwinter Classic, can we continue with this in addition to maintaining the existing game? You know, he would be the one that would greenlight it. Old Cryptic devs are welcome to apply to any open positions, but he's not there to bring his friends in. That's good. That's good. If they were to work on Neverwinter Classic, go get Asterdahl and some of the original people back. New mods for Neverwinter are being worked on. Jack won't have any effect for many months. He's interested in 30-day running totals of players, the average revenue per player. I mean, when you're a CEO, that's what you're looking at, those kind of reports. So, I want to grow the games, Jack says. I want to grow the games. Well, I don't know how you're going to do that. I mean, how are you going to do that? The millions of people that you want back don't want to play the current version of Neverwinter. There's riddle me this, Jack. The millions of players you want back don't want to play your current game. And they have many reasons. You got a little situation that you need to think about. I don't know if making better modules in the future is the solution to that. Oh, he did talk about his age. Not that it matters. He said he was born in '69. What a youngster. You frickin' youngsters. I got 10 years on you, Jack. Talking about the monetization model. The monetization model is working pretty good, I think. Even though he said it seems antiquated. He's going to have to be very careful about that. You do have a subscription in the game, and you actually get something for it, besides just being able to play the game. You get a daily key and a whole bunch of bennies for a very, very low price. As far as I know. So you do have a subscription model that's available to you. Yeah, Mech. Okay, so again, they ask him what his main goal is. My main goal is reacquiring old players. It's my #1 goal. There are millions. This is the one thing on my chart here that I have circled. He has said it over and over again. He wants old players to come back. Now, just by him coming back, I'm sorry, Jack. Not a lot of people remember you. I don't remember you. So just by you coming back doesn't mean that people are going to, like hundreds of thousands of people are going to come back. You're going to have to do something and make some decisions. And I don't know what your budget is like. And I don't know, there's plenty of developers available. I don't know if you're willing to take a risk. I'm going to guess that they're a little bit afraid to take the risk to come out with Neverwinter Classic. I think their plan is going to be to work with the current game. That's my feeling that I'm getting. In the hopes that it'll bring back returning players. So, I don't know. But at the same time, he doesn't want to make major changes to the game. So if you're not going to make major changes to the game, how are you going to get those players back? Again, he's the one getting paid for this, not me. It's not my problem. I just know that I don't want to play the game the way it is right now. I like my old cleric. I like coming into a dungeon and just observing the battlefield. And, put down hollowed ground. And not having to worry about 9 trillion mechanics. Grey Wolf Den had one mechanic, basically. The wolf comes out, he goes invulnerable, invincible. Kill the wolf near him. There's your mechanic on Grey Wolf Den. Roadmap, no, not yet. How do you make the game to where people don't want to grind the game so much? Well, that's an MMO that you grind, or you get out your credit card. Well, what do you want? They already shortened all the dungeons. What else do you want? Yeah, I'm still alive. Barely. I just went over all the notes I had. And that's the CEO of Cryptic Studios. He's not the lead dev of Neverwinter. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. my time is going to be a AMA on Reddit. If you got any questions, you can go post them now. You could have done it a few days ago. So if you have Neverwinter specific stuff, you can do that. How do I feel? Yeah, the pacemaker. Well, luckily for me, I'm an exercise freak. So far, so good. After today, this is how I feel. I don't feel too good, to be honest with you. And I actually took the time out to stream in the Neverwinter.
Hey now,
in the Neverwinter category today, because I was excited. I thought. I'll tell you the truth. Can you handle the truth? Can you handle it? Because they had over 500 people. They had over 500 people in their channel. On Star Trek Online, it would have been a great opportunity for them to make a big reveal today. A great opportunity. And say, guys, we ramped up. Not only are we going to make the current Neverwinter better, we have a dedicated staff working on Neverwinter Classic. More news to come in the future. That's all I can say today. Mic drop. Mic drop. No. I'm very disappointed with today's show. And and for me, I don't have a game here. I don't have an MMO to play, especially now that New World's gone. And I'm kind of glad. I didn't want to play New World again anyway. I want my old Neverwinter back, but I'm just being a little Karen, Thank you, Nova, for coming in. We had plenty of content creators come in the stream today. Harper Steele came in today. Timmy came in. Dead Mono came in. Mini-Me was here this morning. Galactic Underwear was here. All the luminaries. the dignitaries and the luminaries were in the channel today, and that makes me feel good. And I'm not gonna speak for everyone, but you guys, we're all nostalgic, and you know, we remember the good old days. We remember that, and I think a lot of us would like to get that back, and that's the main reason I'm here today. And like I said, I didn't do this. I'm not the one that started this. They're the ones that put out the survey, not me. And Nova linked it on his video, his YouTube video. And the thing blew up. I think they got so many responses on that feedback on Neverwinter Classic server. They're the ones that brought it up, not me. They did. So I'm not coming in here like, you know, smashing, you know, bottles and chairs and tables saying, well, give me Neverwinter Classic back. You're the ones that brought it up, not me. Okay? Don't tease me like that if you're not going to do anything about it or give us a definitive. So let's keep a tab on that. Let's keep a tab on that. No, that was a Russian server. The classic thing was on a Russian server who stole the code or something like that. Okay, guys, I know when it's time to pull the rug here. Jack Emmert was on the team since that survey came out, but it was announced to the public until 2026 year. The survey came out before he joined, right? But all he has to do is ask his developers, hey, did you guys send out a survey? And what was the response to the survey? You know? Did you coagulate the results? And what do we got here? You know I filled that thing out. I gave him my email address. I said, contact me. I'll help you test it for free. I wrote that in the survey. I said, get all, you know, ringy dingy, you know, I'll help you, man. So I don't know what happened. I don't know how many responses they had. I was on the bat phone real quick. Call me up, bro. So that's where we stand today. No, they're not going to. That's the thing. He's going to make the current Neverwinter better, but we're not going to return to the old days. Pre-mod 16, the way the classes worked and all that's not going to happen. In fact, he said, we're not going to do any major shakeup to the game. They would alienate too many current players. He said, Neverwinter is stable. It is stable. And I totally respect that. And I'm not asking them to do anything to the current game. In fact, I'm not asking for anything. Again, they're the ones that brought this up. I'm just giving you my feedback. I'm saying, go ahead and, like, just, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Just get the base game. QOL. You got the code. QOL it. Fix the bugs. You got a bunch of free testers that'll help test it for you under NDA. It ain't going to cost you that much to at least, like, and then you don't even have to release it if it's a bomb. It's not that big of an investment on their part. And again, he was interviewed by someone named Aragon, and he asked Aragon, just recently, wasn't it? He asked him, do you want a classic server back? Do you want a classic version of the game? I mean, what happened to that question? You know, I mean, why all of a sudden is he being nonchalant about it? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing. If anything's going to happen, it looks to me like it's another year before you hear anything, if you hear anything at all. So this is my last stream on this frickin' category. So, and he said no. So he asked someone who's playing the current game. Yikes. He asked someone that was playing the current game or had recently played the current game. And the answer was, no, it might disrupt the current player base. So that's not the answer I was looking for. I even played before Mod 6. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've heard his name before. He's like the content creator du jour. Every few years, there's a new content creator for the game that kind of explodes on YouTube. And then they eventually take their viewers or their subs and then they go start covering other games. They take from Neverwinter and then go cover other games. And I don't blame them for doing it, to be honest. But yeah, that's right, Raven. It's like you asked the wrong person. If I ever get an opportunity to interview Jack, I would take that opportunity. I would pre-record it so it's not live, because live interviews usually are not. You hold back on a live interview. You can't be yourself. So if I were ever to interview Jack, I would do it off. I would record it. And then I would run it by him before I released the interview to make sure he's okay with the result of the interview. I'm sure Nova and others, you agree that would be the right way to do it, so that they have an opportunity to like if they sneeze during the interview, we can cut that out, kind of thing. So I would love to interview Jack and do it completely off of a live stream, not as a part of a live stream. It's just like having a staff meeting. No one tells the truth in a staff meeting. You want to know...
Hey now. Hi, I'm Kalina. Thanks for the follow.
Thank you for the follow. You want to know what your employees are doing if you're a leader? Go to their desk. Don't ask them in a staff meeting. You're not going to get the truth. People are too guarded. Go to their desk, take them to lunch, and then find out what's going on. That's how you do it. Guys, I worked in the corporate world for 30 years. So if I had an opportunity to interview Jack, I would do it totally off live stream and get his approval, and then we put it up, and then we could talk things about from the classic angle. Until then, I think I'm done with covering this game. So that's it. I was in the category this morning. It's so nice to see everyone again. I enjoyed it. And remember, tomorrow morning, Reddit AMA. So I'll be looking at the AMA tomorrow, and maybe I'll pull pieces and throw a little video together. But my attention span for Neverwinter is like very short, okay? My attention span for this game is very short right now. So I'm ready to peace out at any moment. It's good to see Harper too. Thank you. Guys, I love to see, like, the best part of today was just like all you OGs showing up, the OG content creators and the OG viewers too, the OG viewers that used to come in. So, but I'll guarantee you this. They get us a good classic version of the game, and I'll speak for all the content creators that used to cover this game. We going in deep. We going all in. They get a classic version out, and you're going to see videos popping from Nova. You're going to see in Mini-Me and Galactic. You're going to see streams from me, like, constantly. They'll all be streaming and making videos. You get classic back. And then we'll be using the new feature that Twitch allows you to view bot. We'll be using that new feature where Twitch allows you to view bot by doing a collaboration. So if I have 100 and Harper has 80 and Nova has 80 and Mini-Me has 90, we collaborate, and it adds it all up, and we all get the total. So now we all got 500 viewers each, and that pushes the game up on Twitch, and it's totally legal on Twitch right now. Wish that was there back in the day. Hell yeah, Broken Arrow too. Broken Arrow, then the console streamers, Mac and Ketchup, I saw him in their chat today. I'm sure Garlanx will come back. And no one makes Nova's videos, the quality, the edits, they ain't nothing like that. And Mini-Me is amazing. He's our PvP OG. Yeah, I know Broken Arrow's on PC. But and then FN Husa, what about him? You know, the guys over streaming Call of Duty every night. We get Neverwinter Classic back, and if it's done correctly, you know, we'll give it the old college try again, and it'll be different. You know, I'm going to demand as the Godfather, which I didn't call myself that, you guys did. You guys call me the Godfather. As the Godfather of Neverwinter, I demand and I expect the content creators for this game not to go after each other, because there's going to be other enemies to go after. There'll be the fly-by-night streamers on Twitch and YouTubers that don't care about the game. They're the ones, not the dedicated content creators for Neverwinter that we know. We don't go after each other like in the old days. I made a lot of mistakes on that myself. So we take care of each other, because the fly-by-night viewer horse streamers are going to come in if we ever get Neverwinter Classic. So we team up and we work together. That's how it's going to go. We help each other. We promote each other. All the OG content creators. We help each other promote each other. Yeah, bring back, and then it's a clean slate with Neverwinter Classic if they do it. But guys, I'm running too long today, and I could sit here and talk about this all day. I appreciate you guys coming in, and I'm sure you got things to do. You got your busy schedule. I checked your schedule. I know you're busy. I checked your schedule. So we're going to call it there for now. I'll upload this to YouTube. The VOD will be on Twitch. The stream itself is not the most exciting thing by them, because he's a freaking CEO. I mean, he's a CEO. They look at reports all day. So, you know, tomorrow the AMA might be interesting. Twitch drops, yeah, I mean, you know, they just need to put in the effort for Twitch drops. But they don't want to, because they're happy. They're DFH, we used to call it. Dumb, fat, and happy. So they need to, like, you got your company back. Here's the structure. It's been up here for an hour now. So you are completely in charge of your destiny now. He wants to bring back everyone to play their games. I'm telling you a possible way to do that. And so if there, I mean, you can't just go halfway on this and think, oh, we'll try to make the next module better, and then everyone's going to return. It's just not going to work that way. Not going to work that way. 9:12 there. Yep. It's where I'm at. It is 1:12 in the afternoon. It's salad time. Senpai and others, I hope I didn't miss anyone in chat today, because I was trying to focus on this. Thanks to all you guys that have ever been here before in my channel. I see your name when you say something, and I remember you. So I do remember you, no question about it. Go sub to Nova on YouTube. Go sub to Mini-Me. Go sub to Galactic Underwear. Follow Dead Mono on Twitch. He's the closest to the devs that of anyone in the community right now is Dead Mono. Okay? So go follow him on Twitch. And I'm just going to leave it there, guys. Thank you. Hope you have a great day. And if you want to watch this from the beginning, check the VOD here or check YouTube later today. Okay? Thanks, guys. Have a great day.